So the Fantastic Four comes out next Friday, and it's kind of crazy saying that because I remember like it was yesterday that we were, discussing the rumors of who could potentially be playing the members of the Fantastic Four. At one point we had Adam Driver as Reed Richards, we had Margaret Robbie as Sue Storm. Freaking, it was a wild time for the Fantastic Four fan casts and rumors and all that. We also had like Matt Smith rumored to be playing Reed Richards. It was a crazy time back then. But now we're here with the official cast, obviously with Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and Evan Moss Bachrock, all as their characters that they're playing. And with the release of the Fantastic Four coming out, the director Matt Shakman. Well, we have also had a crazy time where before Matt Shakman, it was going to be John Watts who directed the Spider-Man trilogy. He was originally planned to be directing the new Fantastic Four, and he dropped out because obviously directing the three Spider-Man movies kind of burnt him out of directing superhero stuff. So that's why he didn't end up playing or end up directing this Fantastic Four movie. So we ended up getting the WandaVision director, Matt Shakman, who has made some interesting comments about the Fantastic Four and essentially what some of them could end up doing in the future. And that is that Pedro Pascal is going to be leading the Avengers, according to Matt Shakman. We have the official comment right here. So let's go ahead and cut to that. Alrighty, so here we have the Cosmic Book News. This is the website that I'm using for this. This is a very crappy artwork of Pedro Pascal and an AI image of Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. But yeah, we have Pedro Pascal leads Avengers, and Doomsday says Fantastic Four director. And if we scroll down here, this is the exact comment that he has to say, because he says that Reed Richards was the most challenging role to cast. And I mean, I guess I kind of see why, because, we had multiple people rumored to be playing Reed Richards, like I said, Matt Smith, and then we had like Adam Driver, and I'm pretty sure there were some other ones, but those were like the two that come to my mind first. But actually, you know what? Before we dive into that, I kind of want to take a look at all the rumored casting choices that we had for Reed Richards. Alrighty, so we got a thing here of every actor that was rumored to be playing Mr. Fantastic, just so we can see kind of the, what's the word? Path it took to get to Pedro Pascal. So we had John Krasinski, who obviously played Mr. Fantastic in the Doctor Strange movies, but that was kind of like a fan cast come to life, as you can say. It was never really supposed to be the official Reed Richards, if you know what I'm saying. Like, even Sam Raimi mentioned, I'm pretty sure, that it was because of the John Krasinski Mr. Fantastic rumors that he ended up getting casted as a multiverse variant, and that the MCU Reed Richards would not be John Krasinski. So, yeah, this is the only one that I guess actually happened. But then we have Glenn Howerton. Can't say I know who that is. The name doesn't quite come to mind. Yeah, here we have all that. Then we had John David Washington. Name doesn't really come to mind. We have Ryan Gosling. That is quite the interesting choice because Ryan. I feel like originally they wanted to go with really like A-list celebrities, and even though they kind of still took that route with Pedro Pascal, they like really wanted to go the A-list celebrity route because if we would have had Ryan Gosling and Margaret Robbie, that would have just been crazy and also super expensive, which is probably why they didn't go with that. And he's also being considered for the role of Ghost Rider in the MCU, I think Ghost Rider would fit better than, Reed Richards. He does not give off the Reed Richards vibe, in my opinion. We had Penn Badgley. I do remember hearing these rumors, and I have heard of him before. There were rumors that he'd met with Marvel, but it didn't end up getting the part. And then we have another. I'm trying to see if there's any names that I remember. Yep. And then here we have Adam Driver. This, I think, was like the most probable, or like, the most likely to be cast as Reed Richards, but I think it was because, again, it was too expensive to cast him, so I think that's why he didn't end up getting the part, because I think he was willing to take the part, but it was just because of a pay thingy. I think it probably mentions that somewhere down here. One of the most fascinating rumors, the most traction, is that Adam Driver, rumor that he was the top choice, but I'm pretty sure it says somewhere it was because of money and things like that didn't end up getting the part. So yeah, there's a lot of different actors who were considered for Reed Richards, but in the end, Pedro Pascal ended up getting the job, obviously. Now, moving on to this comment that Matt Shakman has made regarding Reed Richards as Mr. Fantastic. It says right here, he goes from being the nerdy scientist who's locked away in the lab to the husband and the father who do anything to protect his family to the guy who's leading the Avengers. And then it says, I realized the version that we were building had to have all those elements. So, I guess it did technically make sense that Pedro Pascal did end up getting the part because, he was in The Last of Us, and that show is also kind of about, a father trying to protect. Well, not really a father. Is kind of. Well, actually, I haven't really played The Last of Us all that much, so I don't really know. But I do know that it's about, obviously Pedro Pascal and then the other person whose name I don't remember. But yeah, he's also kind of like a father in that show. So I guess that's also one reason why he ended up getting casted because he was already technically a father in one other show that he was in. So yeah, this is quite interesting that they had Pedro Pascal be the leader for the Avengers, if that is true, is what he's saying here. And I'm not quite too sure how I would feel about that. My other screen here that I'm recording on keeps shutting off randomly, and I don't know what's going on. Alrighty, here we go. We got it back. Yeah, my screen went black and wasn't turning back on for some reason. But yeah, another thing that's interesting is that right here it says that Sue Storm is the leader for the Fantastic Four group. Like, the Fantastic Four group in the movie. It seems that, like, Vanessa Kirby's Sue Storm is going to be the leader of that team. So it seems kind of strange that they would go from Vanessa Kirby being the leader to Pedro Pascal being the leader for the Avengers, you know what I'm saying? But again, I'm not too sure how I would feel about Pedro Pascal being the leader for the Avengers team, unless it probably means that it's not going to be the entirety of the Avengers, because you know how in Endgame there was all the Avengers together and you had Captain America leading that team of Avengers. Like when all the Avengers and everyone showed up, you had Captain America essentially leading that team. So I feel like if we get another similar situation where in Doomsday Secret Wars, all the Avengers that are currently in the MCU come together to fight either Doctor Doom or if they go with a different villain, because there's also been rumors that the Beyonder could be the villain for Secret Wars. So if they all come together to fight him, then I'm not sure how I would feel if Reed Richards is the one who ends up being the leader of that team. Because you kind of have to have another Avengers Assemble moment, right? Because that's kind of like the whole thing of the Avengers. That's their thing. So it would seem kind of weird to have Pedro Pascal say that line. So I feel like what would have to happen is that maybe it means that whatever team Pedro Pascal is on, how they usually have these mini groups and things like that in the Avengers movies. I feel like whatever group Pedro Pascal is going to be in, he is going to be the leader of that group, whether it's an X-Men group or another mini Avengers group, like the one that we saw in that one set photo that got leaked with John Walker. And then you had the Falcon, Danny Ramirez, and then you had what looked like off to the side, you had a kind of a foot that kind of looked like Black Panther. So maybe if he's also a part of that team, because he wasn't in that image, but we did have Eben Moss Bachrock in that image. So if he's with him and that team, then maybe he'll be the leader of that team and not necessarily the entirety of the Avengers. Because while he is super smart, his only power set is that he is stretchy. So, what is Bro going to do as the leader of the Avengers, other than, I guess, using his brain, which I mean, He does have a pretty smart brain, I'm not gonna lie, but at the end of the day, I don't really see how he can lead an entire team of Avengers when you have people like Shuri's Black Panther or Sam Wilson's Captain America, who, could obviously be better leaders because they obviously are leaders of the Avengers and Wakanda. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling. Not too sure if they mean the entirety of the Avengers is what Pedro Pascal is going to be the leader of, or if it's just whatever team he's going to be on when they have like their mini teams throughout Avengers Doomsday is what he's referring to. But I guess we're going to have to wait and see. That's going to wrap it up for this video. We are only 86 subscribers away from 700. We're at 614. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. And let me know what you guys think about Reed Richards possibly being the leader of the Avengers if this ends up being true. Because I don't think I would hate it at the end of the day. But like I said, his only power is being stretchy. So I don't think he would get very far. But he does have he is one of the smartest characters in the MCU, so I guess he does have that going for him, and he can probably use that to his advantage. So he probably could make a great leader, but we'll just have to wait and see. But that is going to wrap it up for video. You guys let me know if you're looking forward to the Fantastic Four and for Avengers Doomsday. I'm looking forward to them. They're probably going to turn out pretty good, and I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.